All right, you guys, Catherine here, founder of Foods That Heal You and Foods That Heal You CBD, back to talk about juicers and juicing. I think the biggest misconception of juicing is that it's starvation, but it couldn't be farther from the truth. Juicing actually floods your body with more nutrients than you could probably consume in an entire day because it's so concentrated in nutrients. But there are some things you need to know about juicing, and in this video, I'm going to cover some benefits of juicing. I'm going to talk about bottled juices in the grocery store. I'm going to talk about recipes for juicing, and then I'm going to show you two different types of juicers if you're in the market to buy a juicer if you decide that juicing is for you. Okay, before we get started here though, I do want to clarify that juicing takes the pulp out completely, so you're left with a clear liquid. This blender that I have here, this is a blender and makes a smoothie, and all the pulp stays in there. So that's, a lot of people get confused. They think that when they're using a Blendtec or Vitamix or a NutriBullet that they are juicing. That's not technically juicing, that's a smoothie. There are great benefits to smoothies also. But we are talking in this video about juicing, where you really concentrate that nutrients in just a clear liquid. I mean clear as in doesn't have the pulp and the fiber in there, okay? All right, so some of the benefits of health benefits of juicing is like I said, you just flood your body with some concentrated nutrients. I make like a 12-ounce celery lemon juice or a 14-ounce, and it requires an entire, is it called a stalk? I always get confused with that. It's like 10 sticks of celery to make that juice. There is no way I could sit there and chew and eat 10 sticks of celery and a whole lemon, right? So you get a ton of nutrients in your glass of juice. And then it's super easy to absorb. Those of you who have serious chronic health conditions, your digestive system is, I can just tell you, is not functioning well, or you would be healthy if your digestive system was functioning well and you were eating right. So juicing is really easy for the body to digest and absorb those nutrients. Now you do want to stay away from fruit. You don't want to juice a lot of fruit because that's going to be really high in sugar. You want to stick with the green vegetables, and carrots are plenty sweet as a vegetable to add to your juice to sweeten it up a little bit. Even a little bit of red beet can be helpful. All right, and then it's also, just like I said, a great way to get a lot of vegetables in your diet in one really quick juice. It's just so healing. I just can't say enough about juicing. I do juice almost daily. I make at least one juice. Not every day, but most days I do, because it's just such a great way to get those nutrients in. All right, so bottled juicing at the grocery store. You probably see, I mean, there's all the fasting with juicing, and I like to call juice fasting, juice feasting, because you're getting so many nutrients. But if you see all these plans where you can get cold pressed bottled juice, the problem with bottled juice is it's pasteurized, and that means all the enzymes die off. They're killed, they're destroyed in the pasteurization process. I can show you what cold pressed mean, but they still have to pasteurize it because it's illegal not to. And that's going to destroy the enzymes. That's the life of your juices, those enzymes. They help you digest the nutrients and the sugars in your juice. So they're really important. Also, juice will oxidize when it's bottled like that and lose a lot of nutrients. So even if it's cold pressed, which believe me is much better than buying a bottle of Welch's grape juice, of course, but even if it's cold pressed, you're still losing a lot of nutrients, and you're still not getting the benefit of the enzymes. And that's why it can be on the shelf for so long before they sell it, because they have to pasteurize it, okay? I don't recommend buying or drinking bottled juices because of low nutrients, and they're so expensive. It's so much better to just make your own at home if you're serious about getting healthy and juicing. Now, if you're going to just do a one-off here and there juice, cold pressed from the grocery store, that's great. But I definitely wouldn't do a cleanse with them. And I definitely wouldn't rely on them to flood your body with nutrients, because it's really not going to be nearly as beneficial as making your own. Somebody who's trying to reverse a health condition needs to make their own juice. It's just really that simple. That's tough love right there. You got to make your own. You got to do the work. You got to put the work in. If you want to get healthy, it's pay now or pay later, both financially and with your time. If you don't have time to make juice to get well today, then you're going to pay later with your time going to get chemo or whatever. That's very time consuming and very expensive. So there's decisions that we have to make along the way. We have to pick our battles and decide what's going to work best for us, and what are we willing to do to invest in our health now so that we don't get sick and end up having to spend all our time and money in doctors' offices, okay? Now, recipes, here's what I want to say about recipes, because there's going to be thousands of recipes you could make. But in general, like I said, stay away from fruit when it comes to juicing. Make sure that when you drink your juice, you swish it in your mouth, because that helps you digest it. And then you always want to add lemon juice to keep it more fresh. So if you're going to use the cold pressed version, as I'm going to show you, adding lemon juice is very beneficial. You can use anything, any vegetables to juice, but you're probably going to want to use a variety, because variety is good. And in my detox diet program, it's a cleanse program, I teach you how to do a 3-day juice cleanse. If you want to, you don't have to when you sign up for the program, but if you want to, you can do a juice cleanse, and I walk you through how to do it. And there's recipes in here that are simple to make juices, but the rules are, I mean, they're kind of whatever you want to do. If you want to do all celery and lemon, which is what I do quite often, that's fine. If you want 3 sticks of celery, 3 sticks of carrot, and a half a beet, whatever, you know, there's really no rules other than making sure you keep the fruit. Don't do the fruit. You can do maybe a half of a green apple if you know, to get used to it. But I'd say a good beginner's juice recipe would be half carrots, half celery, and a little bit of lemon. That's a super great place for beginners to start, because the carrots have a nice sweet taste and celeries don't have a super strong green taste, and it's really healthy. So that's a great recipe to start with. Half of your juice be carrots, half of it be celery, and then throw half of a lemon in there or something. Great place to start. Okay, 2 types of juicers. So we're going to talk about 2 types of juicers. I have a centrifugal here, that's this one, and I have a cold pressed. The benefits of the centrifugal juicer is it's less expensive, it makes juice really fast, and that might be the 2 biggest benefits, I would say. Now, the downsides are the juicer's a little harder to clean, in my opinion. I think it takes longer to clean, which is a nuisance. And you can't store the juice at all. You have to drink it fresh, because it's going to be lower in nutrient profile than the cold pressed juicer. It oxidizes faster. I used the centrifugal juicer for, gosh, like 10 years. This is a Breville. I got it at Bed Bath & Beyond, I think for $150. It's been a lot of years though, but I used it for years. And then I finally decided to get a cold press juicer that I found at Bed Bath & Beyond, and I love it. It is so much easier for me to clean. It presses the juice rather than, this thing spins real high speed, and I'll show you, but spins real high speed and takes the pulp out. This one is slow. It smashes, it like presses. That's why it's called cold press. It presses the vegetable, and so that the juice comes out, and it takes longer. This one's really fast, loud and fast. This one is really slow, but it's worth it to me because I'm getting a lot more nutrients, and I can store it in a bottle in the fridge for a day or 2. They say you can store it for 3 days. I don't do that. I say 24 hours is my limit, because even with a cold pressed juicer, the enzymes are going to die off, the nutrients is going to be reduced, it's going to oxidize. Fresh is always going to be best, but at least with the cold press, if you want to juice for the next 2 days, you can make all your juice at once for the next 2 days. With the centrifugal, you really shouldn't do that. It's not going to be nearly as beneficial, and the juice can go bad quickly. So now let me show you the insides. So this is the basket of the centrifugal, and see, it spins around and catches a lot of the pulp in this screen. Well, the screen can be a nuisance to clean. It's not terrible, but it's a nuisance to clean. And so I prefer, because of all the benefits of the cold press, now you're going to pay more for the cold pressed, but if you're a serious juicer and you're going to use it regularly, then that's the way to go. But that's why I started with the centrifugal, to make sure that I liked juicing. All right, with the cold pressed, let me see if I can get it apart here. You have inside here, this is the screen. So see how much littler it is? It's so much easier to clean. And then you have this thing that presses the juice. It looks dirty, but it's not. It's actually clean. It's just stained because I use it so much. But this presses the juice. That's why it's kind of slow. But that's my, that'd be my first choice for somebody who's going to really be serious about juicing. But if you're not sure and you just want to try it out for a while, then the centrifugal, you're going to save a lot of money, because we're talking $150 difference. And you can get juicers can get really expensive. They can get up to $2,000. But this was only about $300, I believe, my cold press at Bed Bath & Beyond, like with a coupon or something. And I've been using it for years. It's a workhorse. I love it. I don't see any need to spend $2,000, honestly. But again, those are just two different types of juicers. They're the main types of juicers that you're going to find in stores. Anything under $100 is going to be pretty bad. Probably not do a very good job for you. I made that mistake myself like 20 years ago. I bought like a $50 juicer and it was junk. So, you know, you get what you pay for. So, all right, I hope this was helpful. And if you have questions about my cleanse program or questions about this video, you can email me at Catherine@foodsthathealyou.com, or I'd be happy to hear from you, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.